Hey guys, welcome back. So there's a YouTube video floating around out there that a lot of people have seen. It's of a level 30 Smiter doing Ubers. Well, this video's been around for a while and he doesn't do any narration in the video. He doesn't explain his gear or anything like that. He just hovers over his gear very briefly and you have to keep pausing the video continuously in order to see what he's even wearing. Regardless of that, I thought this was a pretty interesting challenge, so I decided to do it as well. But I decided to do it a little bit differently. So I made a level 29 Smiter, and I decided to do Ubers on him. Now the reason 29 is significant is because you don't have access to Fanaticism Aura as well as Salvation Aura. It makes it a little bit more difficult, not impossible, but it does mean you have to re-gear a little bit. I've been recording this footage and working on this particular project for about a month now. I'm doing the editing for it July 15th, 2018. Now before we get into the video, I will answer some questions that I'm sure some of you will have once you've seen it. So I'm going to answer them up front and be honest. Yes, this is in PlugY, which means that no, minions do not spawn in Uber Tristram. And yes, I do believe it's still possible to do this on the realms in Uber Tristram with minions or using the same gear set. I do believe it's possible. I don't have access to any of that equipment on the realms, nor do I feel like making a level 29 Smiter and getting him rushed through hell and doing all the quests and everything like that on him. So I'm not going to actually be doing this on the realms. Hope you forgive me for that. If you feel like doing this and posting a video, please reply to this video with yours so that we can see you doing it. But there are no minions in mine because it is in PlugY. There's nothing I can do about that. It's still a difficult challenge. Yes, this is softcore, it's not hardcore. A lot of you have an elitist mindset when it comes to hardcore, and you think if you don't play hardcore, it's not worth playing. Well, I disagree with that. I do think softcore is worth playing. And the point of this video is not to do Uber Tristram on a level 29 character and never die. The point is to do it on a level 29 character and get the torch. So I do die a couple times, so I do think a couple of those deaths could have been prevented. 2 of them were due to bad play, 1 of them I didn't have any control over. So there are 3 deaths total in this video, yes. If you want to do this on a hardcore character, I recommend getting better gear itemization than I have. So I've been farming all of this gear, the charms included, for the last several months, and not specifically for this purpose. I've just been keeping everything because I'm doing a holy grail in PlugY. But the charms, I've been keeping small charms for months. Some of them are from LK in Hell, some of them are from elsewhere, but I've been keeping them for months. So I went through my stash and I looked at all the charms I have that have life on them, and I put them in my player's inventory, and I didn't have enough. So I farmed more small charms from area level 37, 38, or 39 places. The reason for that is because the affix of sustenance, which is up to 15 life, has an affix level of 37. So anything 37, 38, 39, 40 can possibly spawn the mod of sustenance. Around 40, 41, new mods open up and it starts diluting the pool of potential things that it can roll when you re-roll them in the cube with perfect gems, which I did. The point here that I'm trying to get across is that all of this gear was farmed by myself live on Twitch with viewers present, and most of these VODs are still archived, so if there's any question about it, if you really wanted to, you would comb through all the VODs and find when I found that specific piece of gear. I don't use Hero Editor, I don't believe in Hero Editor, I think it cheapens the game. I don't use anything like that. I don't go on Open Battle.net and get gear like that or anything like that. I don't use any duping methods that are available in single player. I farmed all of this gear on my own using my own man hours and my own play. There's another video that was posted recently, I'm not going to name from whom, of someone doing Diablo clone on a low level Smiter. Well, he sort of just went and duped all of his gear, it seems like, because every single one of his charms looks the exact same. They all have 15 life on them. It's literally perfect itemization, which I don't have because I farmed it all on my own. I'm not trying to say that I did it better than anyone else, but I do believe I put in more effort. I spent about 6 hours on stream one day theory crafting the specifics of this build, and this is the gear that I came up with. The cool thing about doing this challenge is that there are actually various gearing options. There are a couple things that you have to gear around. IAS, open wounds, crushing blow, high resistances, high life, and cannot be frozen. You don't need the highest IAS breakpoint. You don't need open wounds. The level 30 Smiter that did this actually did not have a source of open wounds on his gear, but that lengthens the fight dramatically, so I decided to opt for a source of open wounds. In so doing, I limit the rest of my gear severely. With open wounds on my gear, and of course not using fanaticism because I'm only level 29, I could only get Smite to the 7 frames per attack breakpoint. That's the second highest breakpoint for Smite, and to me that's acceptable. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I enjoyed making it. It was a lot of fun. I had some help in the theory crafting from some of my viewers on Twitch. It was a pretty fun project to put together, try to decide the optimized course of action for this character and whatnot. One more thing before we get into the substance of the video. I was actually recording it live on Twitch when I did this, and because of that, some of my VODs are muted due to some of the music that I was listening to. So I actually just got rid of the existing audio, and I re-recorded audio and dubbed over it. What that means is, what you hear is not going to match the words that you see my mouth forming in the video. Okay, now let's talk gear. I'm using a Blood Crescent Scimitar with a Shale Rune in it. Main reason for this is the open wounds. It also gives life and all res, which is pretty nice. The total IAS that I have on my gear, including the Shale Rune here, puts me to the 7 frames per attack breakpoint with Smite. In order to get to the 6 frames, I would need 92 total IAS, and I felt like doing that was sacrificing too much resistances and too much life elsewhere. My gloves are Sanders gloves. They give 40 life, which is pretty nice at this level, as well as the 20 IAS that I need to hit the 7 frames breakpoint. Rings are rare rings with high lightning res. My belt is a blade buckle, which gives FHR, strength, and dexterity. I'm actually meeting the 48 FHR breakpoint, which is 5 frames. Every point in strength and dexterity I have on my gear allows me to put more points into vitality. Another rare ring with a high lightning res. Boots are goblin toes for 25% crushing blow. This is the bulk of my damage. The shield is a crown shield, base res of 40 with 4 perfect diamonds in it. I farmed this in cows. A pretty nice shield for this purpose, required level 18. In my opinion, the shield is one of the main reasons why a smiter is completely broken. You can get up to 45 all res on a shield and equip it at a very low level. The amulet I'm choosing to use is the Mahimote Curio, and all attributes gives me a lot of vitality, and it also saves points in strength and dexterity, as well as 10 all res. Aratha's crown with the 15 all res jewel in it. The Aratha's is pretty nice because on base it gives 30 to lightning and fire res, and then of course with the 15 all res jewel, which is usable I believe at level 26, it bumps it up even more. Very nice helmet for this purpose. Hawkmail is the armor. The reason for this is for the Cannot Be Frozen. This is my source of Cannot Be Frozen. It also gives me max cold resist as well as 15 cold resist. I put a perfect ruby in it to increase my life even more. You can see my cold resist is at 92 and I am in a hell game right now. There are other sources of Cannot Be Frozen at this level, but this is the loadout that I decided to use. On swap we have a life tap wand. This is my primary means of staying alive at this level. And I put a ward shield here because without the ward shield, my resistances become pretty horrible. You can see where they are when I have it on. When I take it off, you can see that they dip into the negatives. So what I don't want to do is have to recast life tap and get one-shotted by Mephisto because my resistances are horrible. So I just put a ward shield on swap to help with that. You could also use an Ancient's Pledge or something like that. For charms, it's mostly life charms. The Grand Charm is 23 life. I have 4 FHR charms, which allows me to hit the 5 frames breakpoint with the Blade Buckle. For small charms, 15 life is the highest amount of life you can get until you get to required level 35. Of course, this is a level 29 smiter, so the most life I could get on a small charm is 15. I have one of those, and all of these charms were farmed by myself. I've either been keeping them sitting around in my stash for months, found in LK and other various places, or I farmed the specific eye level needed of sustenance for the affix of sustenance and re-rolled them using perfect gems. You can see I have 2 large charms as well, one with 20 life, one with 19. If you're going to do a low level smiter challenge, you need as much life as possible. And in order to make that happen, the affix level of sustenance is 37. So you need to find area levels that are 37 and round about there. You don't want to go lower than that because of sustenance cannot spawn lower than that. You don't want to go too much higher than that because you introduce new mods when re-rolling the charms, and it just dilutes the pool. I have max block in Hell. It was pretty easy to get max block with Holy Shield, and only 69 dexterity. That's the only advantage to having a low-level character in Hell. Okay, I've moved a cube into my inventory and moved the large charms out. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Tristram portal now. I'm going to fix my charms, because of course I need that life. So here we are in Uber Tristram. I'm going to do my best to isolate the Ubers. course, I spawn Mephisto and Diablo together. I'm going to try my best here to get Diablo away from Mephisto so that I can fight him by himself. Here comes Diablo. Luckily, I was able to get him away from Mephisto. I'm going to put Life Tap on him, and I'm going to go in and start smiting. You can see his health dropping pretty fast. That's because of the crushing blow that I do have. Even though it's only 25%, it's still enough. Had to rejuve there. I will have to use some rejuves during the fight. This is a relatively squishy character, as you would expect on a level 29 anything in hell doing Ubers. Diablo's almost dead. However, I do believe I'm running out of potions. I'm almost out of rejuves and health potions. Now I'm completely out of rejuves. I think I have one more health potion left. My mentality here was he was so close to dying, I really wanted to finish him off without going back to town. I probably should have just gone back to town to get more potions, because as you can see, I start taking some damage here. I reapply Life Tap, dodge his lightning hose. Now I'm completely out of health potions. All I have on me are mana potions, which won't do me a whole lot of good. My health drop's pretty low. I wasn't able to Life Tap up in time. I'm gonna go back, try to get my body. So far we have one death. I reapply Holy Shield. Get back into town. I'm gonna refill my potions. The longer you take in town, the more likely they are to be able to regen health. So if you're gonna do something like this, you need to be quick in town. That way they don't regen too much health while you're gone. And that's simply because you are not applying open wounds to them. Open wounds is your only means of stopping them from regenerating health. So I have a full belt of potions, I have Holy Shield active, I have Fire Resist Aura active, although I don't need it against him. Forgot to re-key Life Tap. Make sure you do that when you die. You have to re-hotkey Life Tap every time. Life Tap is active on Diablo now. One thing you'll learn is that smiting at this level, it will drain your mana pretty quick. So you have to have some mana potions on your belt. It kind of takes a while once you get them to low health. I call this execute kill time. I actually leveled because of killing Diablo. I'm level 30, but I'm not going to use any of my stat or skill points. So it'll be pretty much like I'm still level 29. But once they get to low life, it kind of takes a while to kill them, simply because you're no longer proccing Crushing Blow. And your smite really doesn't do very much damage, so it's almost an open wounds kill at that point. I'm going to refill my potions here. I already know where Mephisto is. I don't want to fight him yet, so I'm going to try to isolate Bale and see if I can find Bale before I fight Mephisto. I ran all around the perimeter of Tristram, and I go inside, and I can't seem to find Bale, so I'm thinking he's probably inside one of the houses right now. If I'd have been paying attention right there, I would have noticed that Bale actually put a curse on me, and that would have clued me into where he is. But instead, I wasn't really paying attention. I was more focused on my Twitch chat. By muscle memory, went back to town to remove the curse from me. I still don't really know where Bale is, although I suspect he's in one of the houses. So I go ahead and make the decision to go ahead and fight Mephisto. This is going to be the most difficult fight because of his Conviction Aura. It lowers all of your resistances, not poison, but your elemental resistances by 125. It's very powerful, very strong. Luckily, we have tools at our disposal to help us with that. I'm trying to dodge the lightning bolts. I want to apply Life Tap, but I don't want to get hit with a lightning bolt while I do that. So I'm kind of dancing around, dodging the lightning bolts, hoping for an opportunity to cast Life Tap. I get Life Tap on him, and I get in on him. In my opinion, Diablo is actually the tankiest of the three Ubers, so I think Mephisto is kind of a quicker kill. Mephisto and Bale are both kind of quicker kills. Right now, I'm kind of dancing between Cold and Lightning Resist Aura, trying to decide which one to use. Of course, I did die, because even with high resistances and a decent amount of life, I'm still only level 30, around there. So, Mephisto is pretty difficult for me. So that's the second death so far. I'm gonna grab my body, get my potions back, go back to town so that I can rebuff. The reason I rebuff Holy Shield in town is because it takes a huge chunk out of my mana. So I figure I might as well buff Holy Shield while right next to Mala, and then she can heal my mana back up. I go ahead and make the decision to chug some thawing potions. These will give you 50 cold resist. Each one lasts 30 seconds and the duration stacks. So I chug several of them, although I know that I don't need to chug that many of them, but I just go ahead and do it anyway. You can also do the same thing with antidote potions, although the poison damage Mephisto does isn't very serious. But it's useful to do that against Lilith if you're farming organs. Although I do not recommend farming organs on this particular character. I would recommend getting your organs on a different character and getting the Tristram kill on this character. So I picked up my charms, I've chugged my thawing potions. So now I should be able to use lightning resist aura against Mephisto, and my cold resist will still be acceptable. With where my gear is, it doesn't really matter too much between lightning and cold resist aura. I have pretty similar cold and lightning resistance overall, so even with the thawing potions, it doesn't really matter which aura I have active. You can see that Mephisto's already almost dead. Almost died there. Quick rejuve saved me. The reason I backed away from him, though, was because I had to reapply Life Tap, I believe. You can see that my sword is actually taking durability loss. Interesting. Those of you that have watched my budget smiter video know that when you smite, your weapon actually takes durability loss, not your shield. Killed Mephisto, and I did gain another level, but I'm not putting the stat and skill points in. I'm going to go ahead and repair all my gear, so that I don't break my sword. If I do break my sword, I lose my source of open wounds, which of course is not very good. The whole reason I can kill these guys relatively quickly is because they do not regenerate health. Ubers have a very high health regeneration rate, and open wounds and venom are the only two abilities or skills or mods in the game that will actually stop them from regenerating health. Prevent Monster Heal does not work against Ubers. It does work against Diablo Clone, but not against the Uber 3 in Tristram. Regular poison damage does not work. It has to be either open wounds or the assassin's skill Venom, which also procs off of Grief, by the way, which is why so many people like using Grief when they're doing Ubers on a Frenzy bar. So right now, I find Bale. He's inside a house, just like I suspected. I'm going to try to draw him out, although I'm not really sure that that's going to be possible. I decided to just go ahead in and try and kill him inside the house, which of course is dangerous because I can't see what I'm doing. I cannot see if I have the correct weapon activated right now, which I was actually on my life tap wand still by mistake. I can't really see the top of Bale's head to see if the life tap curse is still active. Fighting him in the house is a really, really bad situation, but there wasn't a lot I could do about it. I tried to draw him out and he just wasn't in the mood to come out of the house. Bale didn't want to come out and play today. Now I'm in a difficult situation because Bale just teleported in front of the door. He blocked my only escape route out of the house. As most of you know, you cannot open a town portal inside Uber Tristram. So when Bale is in front of the door like he is right now, I can't get out of the house. If I run out of potions, if I run low on life, I might be screwed. Being colorblind makes this a little bit difficult because I cannot see if life tap is still active on him because of the flames inside the house, so it makes it very difficult. And now he's literally standing in the doorway, and I'm unfortunately inside the house. This is poor play here. I could probably have done better, and I could probably have lured him out of the house. One of my viewers in Twitch suggested hiring a mercenary to lure him out, something like that. And I thought about doing that, but at the end of the day, I decided to just try him like this. I kind of panic a little bit right here because I don't know if life tap is active. It doesn't feel like it is. I run out of potions and I die. So this is now the third death. There was one death against each of the primevals. This death probably could have been avoided had I just decided to lure Bale out of the house or something like that. I wasn't really able to do that, but if I'd have been more patient, maybe I could have. And also the Diablo death definitely could have been prevented, because the only reason I died there was because life tap fell off, and I happened to not have any potions on my belt. I thought I would kill Diablo quicker than I needed to go back to town to get potions, so I just kind of waited it out, and I ended up dying when life tap fell off. I should have just gone back to town, gotten more potions, talking specifically about the Diablo fight right now. So that death definitely could have been avoided, and the Bale death probably could have been avoided if I'd have been more patient. Now I'm in the interesting situation where I wasn't sure how to get my gear out. Luckily, he was away from the door, so I was actually able to do that. I'm going to go back to town, I'm going to refill my potions belt, feel like I learned from my Diablo mistake. And then I'm going to get back in on the Bale fight. The Mephisto death maybe could not have been avoided. I'm not really sure exactly what killed me. If I were to really analyze the video, I could probably figure it out, but I haven't done that yet. I feel like the Mephisto death was the only one that was really unavoidable. The other two were certainly due to my poor play. You can see that Bale definitely regenerated some health, so I have a little bit more work to do. He's still inside the house. At this point, I do believe that I can kill him. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't have been able to. Life tap from a wand only lasts for about 25 seconds or so. It's a very short duration. It lasts longer from Drax because it's a higher level life tap, but of course, being a level 29 character, I don't have access to Drax. Almost died there. Quick rejuve saved the day once again. At this point, I really don't know if life tap is on him or not. So I cautiously step away, reapply life tap. Had to rejuve while I was doing that, but at least I got life tap back on him. Once again, the execute kill speed is pretty slow because I don't do a lot of smite damage. And Crushing Blow doesn't apply once they're too low of health. Well, it'll technically still apply, but it becomes very insignificant after a while. And there we did it. We have the torch. Well, it's on the ground. But we were able to kill them. We used a lot of rejuves. We used a lot of health potions, but we were able to do it. So now I'm going to go back to town, make a little bit of room in my inventory. I gained 5 levels while in Ubers, and I didn't put any of my points in. I no longer have max block because I've leveled up. I put a couple charms in my stash so that I can grab the torch and the Standard of Heroes. Standard of Heroes doesn't do anything, but I like it as like a trophy sort of thing. I like to know how many times I've done Ubers on a particular character, so I always keep their Standard of Heroes in their personal stash. And of course this one is extra special because he was a level 29 to 34 character doing Ubers. And it ends up being an Amazon 1311 torch. Not a very good torch, but that doesn't really bother me because, again, this torch is going to end up being a trophy because of the nature of this character, so I'm going to end up keeping it in his personal stash. I'm also going to keep this particular character set up. All of his gear is going to stay on him. The one thing I actually realized I forgot to do when I was doing this live on Twitch was to show my skills and my skill point allocation. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. This is the same character. You can see the name is the same. He is level 34, but that's because, as you saw in the video, he leveled up 5 times when he did Ubers. So he still has the 25 stat points remaining, and he has he has 5 skill points remaining. But the skills that I chose to use for the purpose of the kill in this video are 3 points in resist fire, 4 in resist cold, 4 in resist lightning, nothing in offensive auras, max smite, and then 6 points in holy shield. Maxing smite is nice because it increases your damage a little bit, not a huge amount, but it does help a little bit with execute kill speed at the end of every boss's life. If you're doing this on the realms, max points in smite will be nice for you anyway, because in Uber Tristram on the realms, the minions will spawn and you may have to attack them from time to time, and this will keep them stunned. 6 points in holy shield is the most I could do at level 29. This gives holy shield a 155 second duration, so you can see it doesn't last very long. Again, I didn't use any offensive auras, and I used the 3 resist auras, lightning, cold, and fire. I used them situationally. Pretty much I had resist fire active against Diablo, although I didn't really need it. As you can see, I don't have it active right now, and I still have 76 fire res. You don't really need it. You could allocate those 3 points into these instead if you want to help out against Mephisto. That's completely up to you. You have very limited options for what skills are actually useful at level 29 on a smiter, so you're probably going to be using some of these anyway. Again, since I was level 29, I did not have access to Fanaticism Aura, which I feel like made this challenge quite a bit more difficult. I also did not have access to Salvation, which would have made it a lot easier as well. So guys, there you have it. Level 29 smiter doing Ubers, obviously without Fanaticism or Salvation Aura. It was pretty difficult, but it was also very rewarding, very enjoyable. I challenge you all to do similar Ubers challenges like this. You could do a lower level character if you want, you could do a more difficult build if you want, whatever you want to do. I challenge you to create those videos and reply to this video, and we will see if we can do a little Uber challenge amongst the community. I think it'll be a fun time. I hope someone can one-up me as well. I hope you can do it at level 24 or something like that. So good luck, guys. Thank you again for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. You guys know what to do. Leave some comments. I'll reply to them. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the don't like button if you don't like it. I encourage you to come to my Twitch and watch me there. I'm live most nights from midnight Eastern time until around 6 or 7 in the morning. Although later on my hours may be changing. But right now, as of the posting of this video, that's what my hours are. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Take care. And of course, stay classy.